Hi everyone, I'm Catherine Narona. I'm Catherine Crochets on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest and here on YouTube. And welcome to this, my fourth podcast where I'm going to talk about my crochet that I've been working on since my last podcast. How are you all? I hope you're all well. It is absolutely boiling here today in the UK, so forgive me if I do end up getting redder and redder. I've got some water here to help keep me cool, but I wanted to chat to you because it's been a while since my last podcast. It's the school holidays here at the moment, so that is great that there's no more homeschooling, but it is still a bit hard juggling. The girls haven't got any holiday clubs to go to, no grandparents, which is what we'd normally use over the summer as well to keep them occupied. So there's none of that, so we're all at home still. My husband and I are trying to juggle looking after them with getting on with our own work, so it's still a bit of a challenge, but we're getting there and we're having some really nice times as well, which is good. We've been off work actually, my husband and I, since today is Sunday, and we've been off work since Wednesday. We've got tomorrow off as well, so we've been doing a few day trips out. But it's absolutely boiling at the moment, so today we're just staying at home because the thought of going out anywhere in this heat isn't really very appealing, so we're just going to chill and take it easy and hopefully keep as cool as possible. What else was I going to say? Really looking forward to the girls going back to school in September. At the moment it's looking like that's going to happen, and that seems to be a priority that everyone's working towards, so hopefully once that happens, there'll be a bit more time for me to get on with my work and also get on with some more crochet things, which will be nice. But I do have a few things to show you since my last podcast. I'm going to keep it hopefully not too long today because, like I said, it's really hot. And this is the best room to podcast in, but it's also really, really hot in here at the moment. And I can feel myself, I'm starting to sweat already, melting here. So I'm going to keep it short. And show you what I've been up to. So in the last podcast, I think I showed you the beginnings of what has been called my Big Fish Little Fish blanket, and since then I finished the blanket and it's been tested by some wonderful testers, and it was released a few weeks ago now, and it's available on Etsy, Lovecrafts, and also on Ravelry, and I'll put all the links in the notes for this podcast if you're interested in checking it out. But I'll just hold it up for you so you can see it. Here we go. It is 8 rows of fish. As you can see, there's a big fish, little fish, so on across each line, which is why it's called the Big Fish Little Fish blanket. And I did mine in a sort of rainbow order of colours, going from blue through greens and yellows to pink and red. Actually, when I crocheted it, I actually started at the blue end, so I'm sort of holding it upside down, but it works. It's symmetrical, so it works either way up. So when I was making it, I was thinking of this end actually as the top and the blues as the bottom. But it doesn't really matter which way around you have it. And it also is the same on both sides as well, in case you're wondering. It's made with Aran yarn. I used Starcraft Special Aran yarns. The background colour is parchment, which I talked about before. I was a bit worried it was a little bit too yellowy. Looking at the picture on my screen, I don't think it's looking so yellowy in the screen. Still not exactly what I wanted. I think I wanted something a bit lighter. So I'm going to have a look around if I ever want the same sort of colour again, see if I can find some alternatives. But all the same, I'm still quite happy with how it turned out. So yeah, Starcraft Special Aran yarns, and I've got the fish are in raspberry, is it soft rose, something rose, old rose, mustard, pistachio, which doesn't actually show up quite so well on the parchment background. I think if I did this again I might go for a different green there. This one's sage. This is duck egg, but it looks much more, I think duck egg as being quite a dusky colour, but it looks quite fresh against the parchment background. And then this is Storm Blue, one of my favourites, and denim. And then the border, I wanted to make sure that the blanket could be made and you'd only need one ball, I think it's just one ball, but of each colour for the fish. So to make the border, I've used 2 colours, and I've used the Storm Blue and finished it off with the denim there. And it's a good size blanket, as you can see. It would fit on a child's bed quite nicely. And yeah, it's available in all the places where I sell patterns, so Ravelry, Etsy and Love Crafts. And I've also made a tutorial recently about how to do Tapestry crochet if it's not something you've tried before. So if you want to check that out first and see how to do it, because it's really not as complicated as it sounds, then have a look at that, and that might just give you the confidence you need to give it a go. So that's the first thing that I finished, which feels like quite a while ago now, but that's that blanket. Next was a pattern test for Naomi at Nene Makes, and this is a scarf she's designed, just making sure I hold it up the right way round for you. Yeah, this is it. So it's made of, it's an asymmetric scarf. It's almost symmetric, but it's not quite. It's the first time I've ever made a scarf this shape. So you can see one end is slightly longer than the other, and she's got a dotty section which is made with Tapestry crochet, and this is alternating rows of, no, it's not, it's all treble, all UK treble stitches. Then she's got a stripy section, and then this part of the scarf, I've done it in 3 colours. It was actually just supposed to be in 2, but the yarn I was using, which was just for my stash to do the test, I wasn't going to have enough to do it just in 2 of the colours, so I've done it in 3 colours, 3 blocks of colour. So I've got the navy, the blue and the yellow, and this is all Shapey's Colour Crafter DK yarn that I've used for it. And what I didn't appreciate at first when I was making the pattern, it's quite clever really, because you'll notice that this half is all got lots of pattern on it, the stripes and the dots, and then this half, if you follow the pattern, you'll just have 2 blocks of solid colour. Now I'm going to put it on to show you what happens when you put it on, but I'm going to get boiling. So if you put it on like this, you've got solid colour on this side, pattern on this side, then wrap it round, then your other pattern bit goes with this bit of solid colour, and this bit, which would just be solid colour, comes round, goes with this bit of pattern. So then when you wear it, if you wear it like this, you've got pattern and plain colour on both sides, which is quite cool. Obviously I haven't really worn it yet because it is far too hot to wear it at the moment, but I think it'll be quite nice and cosy to wear in the winter. But I'm going to take it off now because it's absolutely boiling. But yeah, it's nice and soft, and I'm looking forward to using it. Oh, also she suggests on the longer end tying a knot in it here, like that. So I'll pop a link to this pattern in the notes if you want to give it a go. It's really fun to make, really quick, and probably quite a good stash buster one as well, using up some colours you've won. And in the description, in her introduction to the pattern, Naomi says encourages you to be quite bold and a bit wild with your colour choices and go for some really bright contrasting colours. I saw one of the other testers made one in I think it's in red and black, and then I think she in the end she added it, might have, oh, I've got a fly coming, where's it gone? I think in the end she might have added a 3rd colour, but that's a really stunning one, and Naomi's own version as well. It's got some really lovely bright colours. So if you want something to sort of brighten up your winter wardrobe and wear under your coat, it's weird thinking of it being cold again at the moment, it's so hot, but one day it will be. So it would be, I really recommend it. Lots of fun to make. Right, another drink of water so I'm not too hot. Right, the last thing I've got to show you. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have noticed that over the last month I haven't really had many new things to share, and the reason for that is that I have been working really hard on a blanket, which is my first ever commission for a crochet magazine, so I'm really excited about that. But I'm also really quite proud of the design, so I'm looking forward to being able to share it with you. But I can't because it's not coming out until December, which I hadn't really appreciated when or thought about, considered really, when I submitted my idea to the magazine, that I wouldn't be able to share it with anyone until it was published. I guess if you are someone who does it a lot, you've always got stuff coming out that you can share, and then it doesn't matter because you can share the thing that you made 6 months ago or whenever, however many months, 5 months. But anyway, like I said, this one's not coming out till December, but then I'll be able to show you. So you'll probably have all completely forgotten about it by then. But anyway, I'll show that to you then. So that's why things have been a little bit quiet, but I have been busy. But I finished that about a week ago, and that's all posted off and finished. So after I did that, I wanted to make something quite quick because that was quite a big make, and I also wanted to use up some of my stash. Most of my stash is acrylic yarn, most of it is DK, and I also have a reasonable amount of Aran acrylic yarn as well. And I have got some cotton yarn and I have used it, but recently I've been thinking more about wanting to use more natural fibres in what I make. So I haven't yet bought any new yarn because I wanted to use up what I've got yet, but I've been having a think about ones that I'd like to try, and I'm hoping to, when I do get around to allowing myself to buy some new yarn, to buying some which has more natural fibres in it. But in the meantime, I've wanted to use up a lot of what I've got to make way, and also just so I don't have it forevermore and never use it. So I made a cushion cover using yarn that I had in my stash, and you might recognise these colours as ones that I use quite a lot in my makes, especially this one, which is Storm Blue. So this is all DK yarn, Stylecraft Special in acrylic, and I saw a picture of a cushion cover or cushion which had this sort of pattern on it of small rectangles and larger rectangles in exactly this sort of arrangement, and that was something that I wanted to try and recreate to use up some stash. So I picked the colours I wanted to use, and I had 7 colours, and then I just randomly chose, which end did I start at? This end was where I started. Randomly chose 2 and went through them and tried to make sure I used them all about the same amount of time. And I did it with Tapestry Crochet. I'll hold it a bit closer for you. It is, each rectangle is made of 1 row of treble stitches, UK treble or US double crochet, and then 1 line of UK double crochet or US single crochet, so long treble, back double crochet, and so on for each stripe. And yeah, I had this old cushion that I wanted to cover as well, and it was just a nice size for it. I was planning on having the whole thing covered with this, and I thought I'd measured it out quite accurately when I started, but then once I started making the rectangle bit, I realised it was obviously far too short, so I added on these side panels on the end, which made it obviously in a solid colour, and exactly the same pattern of alternating rows of treble and double crochet, or double and single in US terms, and added them on to the sides. The back is, well, it was all going to be 1 colour, but I ran out, and so I did the last 2 rows or 4 rows in that colour, and again it's the exact same pattern of treble crochet and double crochet. And then I'm really lazy when I make cushions, and I don't know about you, whether you do this or if you're good and add fastenings, but I just crochet all the way around the edges because I never wash my cushion covers anyway. I don't know, we're quite strict about the kids not having messy food in the lounge, so they never get seem to get dirty. So I'm probably just lazy, but yeah, to join them together I just went all the way around, 2 rounds of double crochet in grey. I think, let's see if I can remember the names of all the colours in here. We have got the grey, it's just called grey, duck egg, denim, Parma violet, grape, storm blue, duck egg again, pistachio. I think I've said them all now. Yeah, so those are the 7 colours that I used. I'm not sure yet whether I'm going to write this up. It depends if there's any interested. I think if I do write it up, it will just be as a freebie because it is dead simple, and I'll put it on my blog, but it won't be a full write-up, as in there won't be yarn quantities or anything like that. It will just be instructions of how to do it if you want to make your own. But it's quite a good one if you are, it looks like quite an intricate pattern, but actually it's quite a good one if you're new to tapestry crochet, because once you get going there's no counting at all. You count for the first row, but all you've got to do is, you've got 5 stitches for the longer rectangle and 2 for the short one. So once you've done the first row of 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, 2, that's all you've got to count. Then when you do the other rows, you just copy and see where the next where it lines up for the next rectangle. So it is a really, really easy one. I think most of my other tapestry crochet patterns all involve, you memorise it after a while, but they all involve counting on each row or each round. The pattern is different. So if you want one where you can just concentrate on doing the tapestry technique, then this is a good one, and really doesn't involve an awful lot of counting or following. So there you go, that's my cushion, and those are the 3 makes I have to share with you today. I'm not sure let's have a look, how long have I been talking for? 17 minutes, so this is quite a quick podcast, and I've told you about my new design. I don't really have anything else to say at the moment. It's August right now, so we were trying to work it out earlier, I think it's about 4 weeks now. They go back on a Thursday, on the 3rd of September, but I think we've got about 4 weeks left of summer holidays until they go back to school. So I'm definitely, I imagine, we'll wait until then before doing another podcast, and hopefully I'll have some more things to share with you. I've got lots of ideas of things that I want to make coming up, and I'm also planning, as you know, I said earlier, I've done one tutorial which is a how-to guide of how to do tapestry crochet, and that covers I'd say it covers everything you need to know to get started with tapestry crochet. But someone asked in the comments, how do you stop your 2 yarns, or most of my patterns just need 2, or however many you're using, from getting tangled as you do the tapestry crochet? And this was something that I did find happened when I was starting out doing tapestry crochet. But then I found actually there's a really, really simple way to make sure that you don't tangle your yarns at all, and it is really easy. So I'm hoping soon, maybe next week sometime, if not perhaps next weekend, to do a quick tutorial on how to make sure you don't get your yarns tangled up when you're doing tapestry crochet. So hopefully that will be helpful for some of you. So that's what's coming soon, and thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to give a thumbs up if you like the podcast, and follow me if you want to make sure you don't miss any new podcasts or tutorials as they come out. And I have a lovely day. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.